Hello, it's me again. I'm gonna try and do Instagram at the same time this week. I didn't do it last week, but I'm gonna endeavour to do it. So if you're over on Instagram, then you can watch me live on there as well. It says I'm going live. Hello. So if I'm doing a bit of this, it's because I'm trying to do two things at once. And a big shout out. Have I got lipstick on my teeth? A big shout out to my sister who told me when I did this last time that I hadn't actually stopped recording on Ecamm, which was a bit of a bugger. And she sent a message saying, don't pick your nose because you're still on there. So I will try to not pick my nose and remember to stop the recording. So if you are watching this, then please give Ecamm permission so that I can see any comments that are coming up while I'm doing this live. If not, I usually run through at the end and comment and answer anybody that's got a comment. I'm just checking because last time I couldn't see anything because I wasn't clicking on the right things. So a few things what I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm going to answer some questions that I get asked quite regularly by people. I was also asked a question over on TikTok by somebody that I'm going to try to answer. I got a bit technical when I was looking at this, and I'm not a technical person and I'm not a medical person, so it could all be mumbo jumbo, but I'll give it a go and see how we get on. But it's about the nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, which is a bit of a mouthful, but I'll do that. There's a love heart. I think it's Vic. Hi Vic, nice for you to join us. So I will answer that question and then I'm going to go on and answer other questions. But before all of that, if you're on TikTok, then pop over and follow me on TikTok. I've been doing videos on there for just over a month now, and I'm really pleased because my followers have gone up from a stagnant 38 up to 244, which is brilliant. I go for walks as much as I can around a lovely lake that's near me called Birkacre, and I recorded 5 videos while I was just walking around there, just about anxiety, and I videoed some ducks and said we should all be more like a duck. And I just post them up, just my musings and things like that when I'm out and about, instead of just sitting in front of the camera and posting things like that. It's nice to do it when we're out with nature, which is a good follow-on for what I'm going to talk about with the nervous system. So I'm going to put this question up. It's a legitimate question. I've not made this up. I've blocked out their name and their profile picture. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. So that they can't be identified, because even though they posted it on TikTok, I don't know whether they want to be identified or not. But they were talking about anxiety and saying that it comes in waves up and down all day. So I'm tired and scared of fighting it. How do I get my nervous system to calm down more? And it's one of those things that if we're focusing on the nervous system and what we can do with the nervous system, then we're going to continue to kind of trigger ourselves with anxiety because we're thinking, oh, my nervous system's going haywire. What do I do? You're going to start overthinking it and making stories up and all those sort of things. So my suggestion with this would be to look upstream. One, I'm getting some waves. I'm going to send some waves back on Instagram. That's nice. My answer to this would be to look upstream and not focus on what your nervous system is doing, because the thing is, you've asked it to do something. If your nervous system is triggered and you're in fight and flight, or you're feeling, high levels of anxiety, that's because you've asked it, whether that's a subconscious thought or not, but it's doing exactly what it should be doing in that moment. So we need it to do that when it's triggered. Looking upstream, for me, is about what was I thinking just before this happened? Was I stressing about something? Was I worried about doing whatever it is that I'm doing in this moment now? That's the first thing. Being aware of your thoughts. I know I keep harping on about our thoughts create our feelings 100% of the time, but they do. The trouble is that we miss the thoughts, all the neutral thoughts that come and go, like I'm hungry, I need a wee, that tree's nice, it's flipping freezing, it's cold outside, me foot's got a blister on it and my shoes are rubbing me. All those sort of things are kind of neutral thoughts that they pass through. We don't even contemplate them a lot of the time. But a lot of the subconscious thinking that we have is around fear, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, worry, all those sort of things. And it kind of bypasses us sometimes, and we don't even notice that we're having those thoughts. So that's the first thing, is learn to slow things down and just become aware of your thoughts. The other thing that might be helpful is to look at our parasympathetic nervous system, which kind of runs parallel to our nervous system, and that tells our brain what to do. It can calm our nervous system down by default. So if we're focusing on something other than our nervous system, it can automatically calm it down. And so how do we do that? How do we focus on our parasympathetic nervous system? It's a real mouthful, that. Anything that releases endorphins, the happy hormone. So it might be going for a walk and connecting with nature. I'm one of those people that I do like nature. I do like going out for a walk. When I'm sat cosy inside watching television, the last thing often that I want to do is go for a walk. But whenever I do it, I know I always feel better. Same as when I go to aqua aerobics at the gym. It's a nightmare. It's cold. Getting out with a car and getting in a changing room and getting out with my nice warm clothes, especially with my little bald head, although it's not bald anymore. Look, my skinhead's coming back. And getting undressed and then having a shower before I go in the water, all this sort of stuff. I can talk myself out of it before I've even stepped foot out the door. But I feel good when I've done it. It's getting all my blood circulating. It's good for my body. I'm building muscle back up again. I have a right laugh with the old dears that go there because, they're a lot more active than what I am lately. And when I come out, I feel so much better. So that's working on my parasympathetic nervous system. I'm increasing my happy hormones. There's music playing while we're doing it. We're kind of having a dance and a boogie in the water. Music is another good way of encouraging your parasympathetic nervous system to kick in, to tell your brain, I'm not scared actually. I'm enjoying what I'm doing now. So whatever's going on in my nervous system, it's misfiring. I don't need to do it. And that's kind of how it works. So nature, listening to music. A really good one is, watching a comedy or listening to a comedian, having a proper good old belly laugh. When was the last time that you had a proper belly laugh? Billy Connolly always does it to me. In fact, I laugh so much with him that it borders on me starting to cry hysterically. There's kind of a switch for me where I laugh, and then the tears just start coming down. But again, it's happy hormones. So watch a film that you like. There's loads of Christmas films coming up now. Ridiculously, I cried at the most ridiculous Christmas film the other day, and I stopped myself and kind of went, Jackie, what the hell are you doing? Why are you crying at this? It's a bloke dressed up in a Santa outfit. Was it Jack Frost or something like that? I don't know, but I caught myself getting proper emotional and thought, this is ridiculous. But I do get emotional at this time of year. So, long answer to a short question. How do I get my nervous system to calm down more? Work on your parasympathetic nervous system instead of worrying about what your nervous system's doing, because it's doing exactly what it needs to do in that moment. Put music on, have a dance around your kitchen, go out and connect with nature. I could say mindfulness and yoga and relaxation and all these sort of things, but often we don't have time for that. If you're making tea or whatever, turn the telly off and put some music on, whatever music you like, but stuff that's going to motivate you and get you to dance. Anything like that that's going to release happy hormones. Watch something on telly that makes you laugh or that you enjoy. Do a hobby or a craft that you enjoy that's going to, get your mind off whatever it is that you've been worrying about, whether that's consciously or unconsciously. A kitchen disco is fab, yes. I'm going to take this off now because we've seen that question. Facebook user, you've not given Ecamm permission to show who you are, so I can't say thank you to you. Nice to see you and hear your voice. Oh, thank you. That's lovely. It's obviously somebody who's been here before. I really appreciate that. So disco dancing in the kitchen is lovely when nobody's watching. There used to be a statement with that, wasn't there? Dance like nobody's watching you, or get out and dance in the rain. Anything like that. Getting back in touch. It's Julie. Hello, my lovely. How are you? Is it which Julie is it? Is it my Julie or another Julie? because me and Julie, if it's my Julie, we're doing something very exciting behind the scenes, but we're not going to talk about it just yet. Oh, it says it's Leslie. Hang on, I'm getting very confused now. I'm going to stop doing this. Somebody needs to put Ecamm and give them permission on there so I can see who it is. Oh, it's Julie Flynn. Hello. It's the other one. It says, right, I'm going to stop reading them comments because I'm going off track now. So I'm going to answer some of these other questions that I get asked a lot. I've got quite a list here. I might not get through them. I've got a sore throat today. I don't know what that's about. I hope I'm not getting a cold because I'm off to Spain in 12 days. I'm counting down the days. I'm so excited about it. I don't normally like flying, but this flight I'm just so looking forward to it because I've had so many cancelled ones. Yes, so how do I stop anxiety? Unfortunately, we can't stop anxiety. Anxiety is an absolutely normal thing that we do, which links in with the previous question that I've just answered. It's our nervous system doing what we've asked it to do, but we haven't asked it to do consciously, but we've triggered it in some way. So we can't stop anxiety. One of the videos that I did while I was walking around the lake and the TikTok one is that we can be anxious and do things at the same time. And I think, we often forget that, me included. Don't put pressure on yourself when you're doing something, especially at this time of year when it's coming up to Christmas and there might be work parties and family do's and, going shopping and buying all the Christmas presents and everything's just, it's like a pressure cooker just waiting to burst. But you can be anxious and do things at the same time. Pace yourself, take it slowly. If you go into a do that you think, I'm not really looking forward to this, I'm not sure I want to do it. Hi, Leslie. Oh, and Alison said hi over on, there's lots of people, on Instagram and everything. This is lovely. Yeah, pace yourself. The thing I said on this video was to give yourself an exit. I'm all for taking an easy life. I'm a bit lazy as far as my anxiety is concerned. A lot of the time I can't be bothered to panic, which works in my favour. But if ever I do have to go to something and I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to stay there for the full length of time, but I really want to push myself and to attempt to go, particularly lately with everything that I've been going through, is I'll give myself an exit, I'll give myself a back door out there, and I will openly say to people, I'll come but I'll only stop for an hour, or I'll come but I'll only stop for a bit. I don't drink, I've never been a big drinker, so I usually drive myself, so I know that I can get in the car and come home at any point that I want to, and doing that means that I'm more likely to volunteer and to enjoy things, knowing as soon as I've had enough, if they're boring and I don't want to stop, I can just get in the car and I can come home again. Organise somebody to give you a lift home if that's what it needs. But I'm all for taking, the easy route. Life's not meant to be difficult. Life's not meant to be hard work, and anything that we can do to make it easier for us so that we get to enjoy ourselves, do what we want to do what brings us joy and take care of ourselves, then I'm all for it. So that's answered how to stop anxiety. Another question I get asked an awful lot is why is anxiety worse in the morning? Again, I covered this over on my TikTok, but our cortisol levels are naturally higher in the morning. It's again another one of our wonderful survival mechanisms, and it goes right back to, are there any particular breathing exercises that are good for hacking anxiety? Oh, and look who's here. Kirsty's here as well. Hi, Kirsty. Any breathing exercises, they say breathing out more than what you breathe in, because often we can hyperventilate when we're starting to feel anxious or anything. But for me, it's just being aware of my breathing, dropping my shoulders. I do this an awful lot. And when I do that, I can't feel my chest, so it feels like everything's shutting in. So, straightening your back, dropping your shoulders, literally opening up, all this business so that you can actually fill your lungs up. We tend to go into the fetal position when we're not feeling that good. So even just, standing up. Another thing that I do, along with breathing exercises, is I will get up and move. If I'm sat watching television and then suddenly I get a wave of anxiety coming over me, I will get up and move. Literally, I don't need to move rooms or anything. I'll get up and sit on the other side of the couch, or I'll get up and put the kettle on. But just physically getting up and moving gets us back in our, our bodies again, rather than just worrying and sitting and being in our head. That can be enough to drop the adrenaline levels down. But first thing in the morning, our cortisol levels are higher naturally. So if we went to bed anxious, or if we open our eyes and we're instantly starting to worry, we're just adding more to what is there naturally. I talk about it, giving ourselves an extra shot of adrenaline or whatever. But, the adrenaline that's running through us when we're anxious halves every minute. So you only need to sit with it for a minute before it comes down by half, and then another half. And don't overthink it. A lot of the things that people do is they'll do a body scan first thing in the morning to just check in on themselves to see how they're doing. And that can be enough to just up your levels. The thing is with us that, our fight and flight and the cortisol and adrenaline and everything, it serves a purpose. It's supposed to come up, we run like hell, and then the danger's over and it drops back down again. But a lot of us, here today with everything that's going on, it's higher than what it needs to be, and it never actually goes back down to the bottom. So it doesn't take much for us to flip over the top again. So yeah, do breathing exercises if it helps. Open the window, get some fresh air in, take a quick walk, get up, move around. All those sort of things can help. Another question I get asked a lot, because I do, talk a lot about thoughts and everything, is what's a neutral thought I don't understand? I touched on this earlier on. A neutral thought is one that we don't give any energy to. It just flows through us. It comes and it goes, and we don't really pay any attention to it. We're supposed to have up to 60,000 thoughts a day. There's not a cat in hell's chance that we can remember 60,000 thoughts that we've had, but evidently that's how many we've had. Fleeting thoughts, like now, I've just had a thought, and it's only because I'm thinking about it that I noticed it. My glasses are slipping down my nose, so I just had a thought. Do that with your glasses. I didn't give it any energy. I didn't make up a story about it. I just had it, did it, and it went. What we tend to do with thoughts connected to our anxiety or feelings or relationships or anything like that is that we'll catch hold of them, and we'll often have another thought, and then we kind of make this story up around it. That's what I mean by giving it energy. Every single thought is neutral until we give it energy. So even if it's a thought about a partner, it's neutral until we give it energy. So that's the thing. It's knowing what we're doing and when we're doing it. Self-awareness is key to all of this. It's really important. I used to think I was self-aware, but I was going through life with my eyes closed. I wasn't aware of my response or reactions to things. Not until I started training to be a psychotherapist, and then suddenly I was like hyper vigilant of every word that came out of my mouth, and my body language and everything I was doing. It kind of went over to the other side of it. But just start to be aware of your thoughts. When you get up in the morning, if you're in a job that you don't particularly enjoy, as soon as you start getting ready, having a shower and preparing to go to work, you will be having negative thoughts about your job. If you don't get on with your co-workers, you will be thinking about, what are they going to be like today? Are they going to be in? Are they going to be asking me lots of questions and what they need to do and where they need to go? All those sort of things are going to, impede your performance throughout the day and make you feel pretty crappy. But we've got to start to be aware of what we're doing. For me, that's the key with everything, is self-awareness and starting to be aware of our own thoughts, our own actions, and being responsible for those. Because once we take ownership of them, we can do something with it. If we're constantly projecting it outside, like, work wouldn't be that bad if this person wasn't there, you're giving the responsibility and the power to another person, when, I'd like to think that I've got power over how I respond and react to certain people and things and events in my life. How do I calm down my nervous system? I've already answered that. Why do I feel different with different people? This is a really good question. I would say the reason why we feel different around different people is all down to trust, who we trust and who we don't. I've got very few friends. I've got lots of acquaintances, but very few people who I would call a friend. You know, I could pretty much count them on one hand. But I know that I can discuss anything with them without, I want to say without fear of judgment. I've got some friends that will probably judge me for a lot of my thoughts. But, you know, yes, they have opinions and they're not always the same as mine, but we have a laugh. We enjoy our differences. But, you know, when push comes to shove, there's nothing that I wouldn't discuss with these people about anything that's going on in my life. And I'm completely different with them than what I would be with somebody that I don't know very well, because there's a part of us that wants to be liked and accepted and validated by the people around us. So until we get to know that person, we're not likely to share that much. So it's okay to be different with different people. I'm a different person in different environments. If I'm seeing somebody that I see is a higher status than me, or, you know, they know their job better than me, I kind of go into my child ego state and I'm very unsure and I'm not really myself. That's perfectly normal and it's okay. But again, it's just being about, you know, that being aware of it. You know, what is it about this person that's making me feel this way? I still can't look a police officer in the eye. Going through customs at the airport, I avoid eye contact. I don't know what that's about, but I just do that. Because I see them as a higher status than what I am, and it makes me go into a very young place, if that makes sense. What does mindfulness do to help? Mindfulness, again, it slows everything down and it makes us more aware of our thoughts. Mindfulness is not, you know, sitting cross-legged going for hours on end and emptying your mind of everything, because it's pretty much impossible to empty our mind. We can't do that. But what it does is, you know, the idea behind it is that we notice our thoughts. We notice our thoughts without judgment. So we're not judging the thoughts that we're having. We're just being curious and observing them. And for me, that's brilliant. You can practice mindfulness sat on a bus, waiting at a bus stop. I wouldn't advise doing it while you're driving, because you need to concentrate on your driving and not your thought processes. But if you're a passenger in a car, just notice the thoughts that you're having. If a song comes on, just notice, does it bring anything up for you? Can you remember the first time that it was played, or any memories that, you know, you can connect to it or that are evoked by it and things like that? So it's about, you know, noticing our thoughts without fear of judgment or, you know, criticism or anything. And we are our biggest critic. There's no two ways about it. That negative self-talk and everything that we do, we're the worst ones for it. And yes, I do think it can help. It's practicing it. I think I read somewhere that if you practice mindfulness for about 6 to 8 weeks, it dramatically reduces the worried stuff in our brain. It, you know, the amygdala and all that. It increases the prefrontal cortex, which is the logical part, and it shrinks all the emotional reactive parts. 6 to 8 weeks of just doing a bit of stuff to see whether it helps. That's not a big deal, particularly when it's only 5 or 10 minutes a day that you can do while you're going about your own business. You know, clean your teeth mindfully. Just focus on the feeling and the taste of the toothpaste and just really focus on cleaning your teeth. If you're anything like me, I've got 10 jobs on at the same time. You know, I'm half dressed while I'm cleaning my teeth, and I'm running a bowl so I can wash my face, and I'm putting my hat on, and I'm not concentrating on anything. A key to whether you're aware of what you're doing and when you're doing it is whether you're forgetful. I always lock my back door at night, like most of us hopefully do, and if you're not, I think you should. But I get halfway upstairs and then I think, did I lock the back door? And it's because I'm not even aware of what I'm doing. I'm not, you know, consciously focusing on the job in hand. I'm already thinking about cleaning my teeth when I get upstairs, when I've not even got up there. So we can do it as part of our everyday life. It doesn't need to be another thing that we've got to do when we haven't got time to do it. And the last one, what is our life script? I'm going to leave that one because I've been on for half an hour now. I didn't realise it would take me this long to do all of that. So I'm going to stop. I will cover what is a life script next time, along with any other questions that I ask. Feel free to ask me any questions at all that you want. I'm happy to answer anything. As you know, I'm an open book. I'm going to be doing my 3-day self-love makeover starting on Monday. There's I think there's 17 people joined up for it already, which is absolutely brilliant. You should, when you sign up, you should get an email. You'll get another one on Sunday, and I'm going to open the pop-up Facebook group, and then you should get a reminder about an hour before I go live. I'm going to be going live in the pop-up group on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday next week at 8 o'clock. There's going to be a little workbook that you can do. I'm going to upload it in the units on the Facebook group every morning, so that you've got, you know, time to have a look at it and just muse over it and see what comes up for you. So if you've not signed up for that, I'll put a link underneath this when I go back in, and you can sign up to do that. It's free of charge, it don't cost anything. And come on and be active and see whether you can give yourself a little bit more self-love, because I think at this time of year we could all do with loving ourselves a little bit better than maybe what we are at the moment. I know I can, but I'm loving myself because I'm going over to Spain to see my daughter, so there's a lot of love going on at my end. Okie dokie, thank you so much. I shall see you here 7 o'clock next week. I will answer what is our live script, any other questions that you've got, and anything that comes up for me, like I generally do during the week. I'm going to stop both of these simultaneously now and show you how clever I am. Take care and have a good week.